an attraction to darkness or night, finding relaxation or comfort in the darkness. This is Nyctophilia. This is dark.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Cologne podcast, a brand new episode starring me, Myke.
And his co-star, Ryan.
That's right. Two best friends on a journey through life, sniffing fragrances and giving their uneducated opinion.
Wow, that was a really good one. I liked that one.
You told me to bring the energy, Ryan. Here it is. Boom, baby. Today, we're taking a look at a new fragrance.
Yeah.
Not many in the world have sampled this.
That is correct, and we can honestly say that. That's kind of cool, isn't it?
It is cool. We reached down and grabbed our mail sack, and inside the mail sack was this beautiful, full presentation, box, bottle, everything.
That's right. And I guess the little quick story is that we actually reached out to them. Should we tell them that part?
Yes.
We actually reached out to them because we saw the bottle design. We're like, holy crap, but we couldn't find a sample. So we're like, hey, we are willing to pay. Do you have a little decant we can buy this? And they go, decant? We'll just send you a bottle.
Yeah.
So there you go. That was really nice of them. So here it is.
The kind people over at Sapphire Studios
.com.
That sent us a box. Let me tell you a little bit about Dark, the fragrance. Dark is so new, Ryan, that it's not on Fragrantica. We can't grab reviews.
That's right.
But I do want to tell you a little bit about the fragrance.
Go ahead.
This comes from their website. Dark, sensual and seductive. Dark is a scent that creates an instant mood with invigorating opening notes of orange and bergamot, leading to floral, orchid, and black pepper, and base notes of musk, earthly vetiver, and patchouli. This is dark.
Well, I'm getting really excited to smell it. But
yes,
before we do, let's jump into our one night stand review of Love in Black by Creed.
Yeah. One night stand review.
Well, Myke, after lacing up in that black silhouette and stepping off the bed, after a one night lay-in,
one night spent with Creed's Love in Black.
What do you think?
It burned out quicker than I remember it burning out.
Yep. Seems to be the MO. Every time, man. Every time. Oh, he opened up a drink live on air here.
Oh, sorry. I heard a little bit of in my throat whenever I was doing that, reading about the thing. Yeah, after a few hours, I'd say probably 2 or 3 hours, it smelled pretty great on the skin, but then it kind of just became a skin scent. You could bury your nose in it and still get it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I still have the
cardstock.
Yeah, the cardstock, and I can still smell it on that.
Yeah, I can still smell it on the cardstock. So I would say, it's going to last pretty good while on the clothes. Skin, not so much. The opening of it is so good.
Yes.
It's like that with every Creed fragrance. We go, man, this smells really, really good. And then it's just kind of whatever.
Yeah, and they just go so quick. And I don't know if it's, they're using a ton of naturals, so, you know, it just burns out. But
they're pretty damn quick. I mean, I'm not hating on all of it because, I mean, again, it's kind of debatable. We always talk about that. Like, I'm not going to be saying, oh, we want 10-hour bangers and stuff like that.
Yeah, but, I mean, when you're dropping $400 for a 50 mil, right?
Yeah.
$400.
No, 75 mil, I believe.
75, sorry. Unless you are just made of freaking money, it's really hard to cough up that kind of money for that performance.
I have to admit, and we mentioned it, it's like Parfums de Marly's Layton. I mean, that thing is ridiculous.
It goes on and on and on.
This man walked in the next day after he had did a shoot.
Yeah.
And he was wearing the same shirt from the night before because that's how we roll around here. I mean, we know each other.
Yeah, look, guys, don't tell anybody. But occasionally, I'll wear the same clothes a couple days ago.
I mean, we are so close. I mean, we're practically walking around in like goddamn Fruit of Balloons and eating a bowl of cereal spilt all over us. We don't care.
Fruit of Balloons, huh? So, yeah, I roll in with my Fruit of Balloons, and I had wore Layton the day before.
Yeah.
And I rolled in, and you were like, damn! Damn, son.
I thought you just sprayed it.
Yeah.
It was so loud.
And I was like, no, I wore it yesterday.
Yeah. And honestly, paying high end, I do feel like, I mean, they don't all have to be like that, but I do feel like they need to produce a little.
Especially when we said the last episode, you compare the price.
Yeah.
You compare the price when you can get at myfragrancesamples.com retail bottle page.
Yeah.
You can spend 200 bones, actually a little bit under,
Yeah.
for a bottle of Leighton,
Yeah.
a 4 ounce.
Yeah.
And that thing is a freaking incredible, gonna get you all the way through the day fragrance.
Is that unisex, by the way, Leighton?
I think it's more geared towards men.
I could see a woman wearing it, though.
Sure.
The reason why I bring it up because we're kind of comparing apples and oranges, right?
Yeah. Well, my point is this, that it's double the money for about half the juice, and it gets about half the performance.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really know where to place that because I know performance isn't everything.
Yeah, and it kind of makes me think, we've said this before, it's like when companies are selling something high end like that, I mean, obviously, speaking of me only, I am not their demographic. And if you're somebody that can easily afford that, maybe you don't care about how long it lasts. You're just like, I want to make sure, because I will say this about Creed fragrances. They absolutely do smell unique.
Sure.
They smell amazing. I mean, they get copied all the time. Maybe some people that have money, they're like, I just want to make sure that when I go into an important meeting today, I want to smell like an absolute boss. And they don't care that it wears off in 2 hours.
Yeah, it's one of these things where you would probably, if I were a man working in an office job,
Yeah.
God, they better pay me good if I'm wearing Creed. But I would have it to where I sprayed it on right before 8. I roll in, right?
Yeah.
And I'm smelling great. And every time I walk by, all the ladies in the cubicles are going, ah.
I can't wait till they fire him.
Yeah, I want his job. Then it's pretty much ducked down and gone by lunchtime. I pull that bottom drawer open.
Yeah.
On my mahogany desk, I reach in and I grab the bottle and spray it again, and that'll get me to close a business.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, maybe if you're that demographic, maybe that's for you. That's what it is.
Well, maybe they go the Tom Ford route too, because Tom Ford, he kind of talks about that, is he's like spraying different fragrances on himself throughout the day.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And he's like layering all different kinds of shit. He's like, there's a bottle of fragrance every 15 feet in my house, is what he says.
Jesus.
And it's like, I get that. And maybe they burn out so quick. It's like, oh, yeah, I wore a Neroli Portofino this morning, but I'm about to put on King Fabulous.
Just in case you want to know, he said King Fabulous.
Yeah. With no editing here. I'm talking about King Fabulous. But he puts that on.
Yeah.
And those two would normally, they would freaking clash, you know? So who knows? Maybe the burnout is there for a reason.
So are we saying skip this then now because of it? Or do you say, hey, if your pocketbooks are good, definitely sample it. Probably will be a buy if you can afford to spray through it.
Even though you're paying more per milliliter, I would say decanting would be the only route I would go.
Yeah, I could see that.
And we saw that, remember? Because I was like, man, you can get legit 100 mil of Creed Aventus cheaper on myfragrancesamples.com by buying 30 mil decants than you could by buying the full presentation. And typically you spend more per mil buying a decant.
That is true.
But in the case of Creed, it doesn't seem to be that way. So now I know that Mark doesn't have Love in Black on his site.
Yeah.
Pester him. I think you should get it. And then maybe you can get it from him.
Well, there you go. That is our one night stand review of Love in Black by Creed. Okay, let's hit them with the scent of the day.
Yeah, let's hit them with Dark by Sapphire Studios Design.
Yes, they're based out of Melbourne. They are a jewelry company, but also they are dabbling in fragrances. And like I said earlier, we had reached out because the bottle design is slick, and we're going to put a picture of it up on our Instagram. So if you haven't been to our Instagram, make sure to check it out. It's Cologne Podcast. Very simple.
Yes.
But it hasn't been out in the world very much, but it came in a little cool box, and it looks like a little 50 ml bottle shape of something like Bleu de Chanel.
Yeah, it's the square, hard edges, pretty slick.
Yeah, it is. It looks pretty menacing.
All right, I'm going to spray it up, y'all.
Ooh. What do you get on your first sniff over here, buddy?
I've talked about this before to you.
Yeah.
Because this isn't the first time we smelled it.
Nope.
We were pretty pumped as soon as it came in. We're like, oh, hell yeah, we're going to spray this up, yeah. To me, I'm a big fan of Tom Ford's Black Orchid.
Yeah.
And this reminds me a lot of that.
Does it?
Yes.
I can't remember if I've smelled Black Orchid or not. If I did, I know it's been very briefly you showing me. So I don't have like a history with it. It, to me, is very sweet, soft.
Yeah, that sort of truffle orchid sort of smell that is like, sorry if I keep comparing this to Black Orchid, but that's like the only fragrance I can really put my finger on that this reminds me of, like the vibe it gets.
Yeah.
But it's like that dark licorice sort of a smell.
I can say since the first time I smelled it, so the first time, I'll be honest, the first time I smelled it, I was like, it smells okay. But I'm really kind of liking it right now.
The thing I like about it is it's a not for everybody fragrance.
I will agree with that. And I feel like it's very different compared to what I'm used to smelling from a lot of different things.
The worst thing you can do as a brand, I feel like, is come out with a generic smelling thing. And I'm proud that really, in their first outing, they came out with something unique.
I agree. I don't know why, but it kind of reminds me of that Goldfill and Banks one that we smelled a little bit. I don't know what it is in there. It smells, they're not one-to-one. There's something in there that kind of reminds me of it.
Really? I don't get that at all.
I don't know what it is.
This is very licorice, very whatever you want to say. I get the dark. It's a mysterious sort of a scent. And I know how popular Black Orchid is with men and women.
Yeah.
This is a good route to go. I think it leans heavy masculine.
Really?
So yeah, I think that they did something good. It's not masculine in the way of like smelling like a straight men's fragrance.
Yeah.
But it's like an intriguing men's fragrance. It's one you can wear and it's like, oh, this guy's got some attitude.
It definitely does have some attitude, man. I feel like when I first got into it, kind of shame on me. I don't think I appreciated it as much. And then when I showed it to you, you kind of made me appreciate it. You were talking about like, man, you're like, man, this is so cool. Look what they did this and did that. And then when you were smelling, you kind of told me about that. But
yeah, so here's the thing. Me and a friend started a company. It's no longer now, but we ran into some issues because when you start off something for the first time, you can't really get your hands on like making a custom mold, for example, that they would pour. It costs at least $15,000 to make a custom mold.
Yeah.
And so we couldn't afford to do that. So we had to buy ready-made components and then alter them and make them special for our company.
Yeah.
And you can kind of tell that's what they're doing here. Now, I think the caps may be 3D printed or maybe they do have molds for those.
Yeah.
But they're taking these, what I'm assuming are aftermarket components, and they're customizing them and making them pretty badass.
Yeah.
So when you were like telling me, oh yeah, it kind of looks like this or that, when I put my hands on it, I was like, man, they did a great job. This is a great first outing.
It is. And the box is pretty slick. It's cut to fit and it's got like a little magnetic little flap on it.
Yeah.
It's pretty slick, man. I'm going to be real. And again, I kind of feel bad now that I don't want to say I was down on it, but I wasn't like over the moon. But then you really kind of made me appreciate it. And I think I didn't have that insight. So that is good.
And maybe I'm a little flawed in that I'm, the underdog sort of story, like I do want to cheer on small brands and they're doing something cool. I love this. I love the like attention to detail they're putting into it, even starting out.
Yeah.
They've got clear vision and that's the most important thing. As they grow, they'll be able to do more impressive stuff with the bottling or the packaging or whatever. But the vision they have for each fragrance is pretty awesome. I like the attitude they have.
Yeah, and kind of to build upon that, apparently their company is kind of like, it's a bunch of different artists. I'm assuming that kind of work there. And they base a lot of the stuff they create on either literature, artists, poets, or themes. And they try to mold everything. And by the way, they actually do some pretty cool custom jewelry work.
Yeah.
Not that I'm a jewelry fanatic, but I'm sure there are people.
Whatever. He's wearing like 8 chains right now.
They're all Cuban links over here.
Yeah.
But no, they do have a really cool artistic approach. And if you check out their website or their Instagram, you can find them. They do a lot of they have the hand sketches of this bottle and the cap, and then that probably is 3D printed, but it was kind of cool. They kind of made something personal to themselves and to put out there. So really appreciative of them sending us this bottle. Yeah, they didn't have to.
They didn't have to do that. That's pretty cool. And we told them too, like, hey, here's the deal. We're going to be honest with this thing. We're going to tell you straight up how we feel about it.
Yeah.
We actually got an email. Did you see the email this morning we got?
No, I didn't. Myke will click on an email coming through so quick, I will literally see the notification and then it'll disappear immediately. That's how quick he sees emails.
Well, we got an email from Joe, and I think he has a YouTube channel called Unaverage Joe.
Okay.
But we got an email and he said, this is for the Saphire episode.
Okay.
He said, well done episode. I've been watching you guys since you had Juan on, but I have to say I appreciate you both for the honesty of mentioning the topics in regards to the Navitus, YouTubers having fragrances, and some reviewers holding back on saying any criticism, etc.
No.
It was very well said and something I wish more people would say often. I appreciate you both for your honesty. Have a great week and keep doing your thing, guys. Regards. So that's kind of the thing we're saying here is we told them up front, Sapphire Studio.
Yeah.
We said, we're going to be honest with it. If we like it and we talk great about it, you're welcome to tag the show or share it or whatever. But, we want to be honest.
Yeah.
We're building this thing around honesty. So just because we got a cool bottle.
Okay, well, then let's get into it. Who the hell is wearing this?
Me. I mean, I really do like Black Orchid a lot.
Yeah.
I think anybody who likes that type of fragrance, not the typical generic sort of men's fragrance, but they want something special. Maybe they want it for a date night. Maybe they just want to smell like, the unique guy walking down the corridor, walking by the girls' cubicles. And maybe they want to be that guy. I think this is it. I think this leans strong masculine, even though it does have a sweet floral vibe to it. No. I think it's manly. Or it's gothic lady.
I'm going to go with that one. That's what I think.
Really?
Yes. I feel like it's more feminine.
Okay.
Just the vibe that I'm getting from it, it does seem more feminine. And I would love to smell this on a woman. It smells good.
I think it's unisex if you're wearing leather.
All right.
Are you going to skip it?
Sample it?
Or buy it?
What are you going to do, Mike?
Well, how much is it?
Ooh, put me on the spot. He just loves putting me on the spot. $148 for a 50 ml.
$150 for a 50 mil is not impossible. It more falls in line with the indie type fragrances.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's exactly kind of where I think this should be priced at.
Yeah.
It's just like Smolder we looked at was about the same amount.
No, it was.
$150 for a 50 mil. It makes sense because when you're doing smaller batches and you have smaller runs, you don't get the price cut on buying large quantity of stuff. I know I've said this over and over again, but to come to the defense of this, when you can't buy 10,000 bottles, when you're buying them in smaller batches, you pay a higher price. It's the same reason why decanting, typically a 10 mil, will cost you a little bit more than 10 times that for 100 mil.
Yeah.
It's just the smaller the quantity, the more you pay. It's manufacturing's law. So I get it. I think it's appropriately priced. I would have to, it's so similar to Black Orchid.
Yeah.
I'd have to price that out. And I would want to say you're going to get close to that price for Tom Ford's Black Orchid. So I'm going to have to hold off. My answer, sorry, Ryan. My answer, I'm processing this.
Yeah.
I'm speaking before I'm thinking here. I'm going to have to sample this more.
Well, I was going to say sample first, for sure. And for our don't hate us, for anybody here in the U.S., we kind of talked about this a little bit before the show, because we feel like because you can't get a decant of this right now, you can't get a sample, we're going to sample out our bottle. Yeah,
we're going to pull decants out, 5 mil decants.
So what I would say is, I don't know what the number will be, what the cap will be on how many we can do, but just email us at thecolonepodcast@gmail.com and let us know if you want a decant of this, and we're just going to send it out. You're not going to charge anything. We'll just send it out.
Yeah. Shoot us an email, shoot us your address and say, please send it here. And the first emails that we get, whenever we decant this out, I mean, we're probably going to each pull us out a decant to be sampling as well.
Yeah.
But I'd say like 5 to 7 listeners, the first 5 to 7 emails that we get, we'll decant it out and we'll mail you free of charge a 5 mil decant for you to sample as well. If you think you're going to like a fragrance like this, if you're into the Black Orchids or the darker unisex masculine sort of interesting fragrances, this is one to check out. For me, I'd say just because of the price, you're leaning into that 100 mil designer price.
Yeah.
and black orchids around there, I really need to see the longevity and performance of the actual fragrance before I can say I would absolutely buy it. But this is worth the sample for sure.
And the other thing is, too, because we're here in the U.S. and anybody over here, I really don't know the shipping cost, but that's got to be ridiculous.
I would assume so.
But if you're over there in Australia, which I know we have a few Melbourne listeners,
yeah.
Hey, you're right down the street. First off, go check out their storefront. It's actually pretty badass, and walk in and go look at it. We can't do that because we're over here.
Here's what I'm hoping. Flame me if you want to.
Yeah.
You can send an email, thecolonepodcast@gmail.com. Tell me how much you hate what I'm about to say. But I would say if I get similar or better performance from this than, say, Tom Ford, I would much rather support an indie brand than a massive brand like Tom Ford, who was bought out by Estee Lauder.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
For sure.
If it's part of the fragrance community, there's more interesting story to this. It's more memorable and more important. Not that I don't love Tom Ford, but I would say the small guys out there, we're the same. We're just we're not small dudes, but we got a small little podcast thing going on. We want to support other creators out there.
We do. And if you like today's episode,
yes,
we only have one request and one request only.
Yeah, that's it.
There's no way we're adding or subtracting from this. It's the alpha and omega of what we need.
Okay. Hit them with it, Ryan. I know you're so good at just hitting on one topic and one topic alone.
Make sure, if you enjoy our show, to seriously share it out there into the aether. Let the world know. Get the name out there. We have grown so much, but me and Myke have huge goals. We want to grow this community, ours. This is not me and just Myke's. This is everybody that listens. This is our community.
The Cologne podcast community.
That's right. And we want to grow it and expand on it. It's been really fun. It really has. It's been a gift.
Yeah, it's been good getting to know you guys, especially through the emails and, Facebook, Instagram, stuff like that. Keep doing that. You guys are important to us. We know that as we put out episodes, you guys really enjoyed those, and you've messaged us about how much positivity we're bringing into your world. This is us saying you guys do the same for us. Feel free to continue to contact out. And again, first 5 to 7 emails at thecolonepodcast@gmail.com. If you ask for, just say, hey, can I get a decant of that dark? Here's my...
That sounds like some lingo on the street, man.
Yeah.
We're going to get some of that dark?
We're going to be on some blacklist somewhere. Hey, man, these guys are getting emails. They're trying to get dark, whatever that is. They're wanting a sample of it. Something about they can't get it out on the streets. And so thank you guys so much for being a part of what we're doing. You mean the world to us. Be sure to share us. We love you.
And spray it up, y'all.